Well, hello. I'm Erica Bruce, and this is Lifestyle Listed, a podcast I created for you and me to develop a relationship and discuss things about lifestyle. I am a realtor, and many of my episodes will be real estate focused, but also other things business and lifestyle related. Listen up. I hope we have a wonderful time together today. Hey, and welcome everybody. Today we have a very special guest, Samantha Morse, who is the Registrar of Deeds for Merrimack County, which coincidentally I now live in, and she lives in the same town that I live in. Thank you so much for joining us, so we can learn a little bit more about your job and deeds.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Excellent. So a lot of realtors or even people know what a deed is, that it goes to the Registry of Deeds. And that's about where my idea of the whole process stops. Tell us a little bit about your job, your position, what you do on a day-to-day.
Yeah, so my position, it's a pretty important position, I'd say, for the county, now more than ever, because people want answers and want to know what we do. My staff needs direction and consistency, and that includes performing the yearly evaluations, assigning trainings that come available. So overall, we need someone who is fiscally responsible and in the office every day, willing to do the work.
So you keep track of the monies and the spending as well?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. So in your office, you have employees. Tell us a little bit about how they get the positions that they have. I heard you have a deputy.
I do. She's been pretty much the MVP of my department for many years. She's quite a wealth of knowledge, but yeah, she handles all the accounting related needs. That includes the daily closeouts, opening, communicating with our finance department. She even helps manage the office in my absence. So that's always helpful. But I full circle have 5 full-time employees, a lot of them which help out with the recording process, indexing, and verifying all documents that come in.
Excellent. So for those people that don't know, you are the repository for not just deeds, even though it's called the Registry of Deeds, right? You have been collecting all the important legal documents for the county since the 1800s or something of that nature?
Yep, 1823. Quite some time.
That is pretty crazy. Just so people have an idea of what what the record books initially looked like. I'm sure there's ones that are older than this, right? But this is a traditional Merrimack record book, right? Up here in this picture on the website.
Right. We have a vault full of them. I think we stopped making those early 1900s, I want to say.
Really? And what'd you guys use from 1900s to 2000s?
Actually, when did we start computers? Let's see.
Probably 2000s. I'm going to guess around 2000s, maybe late 90s, 1990s.
Oh, 80s, 90s, around there.
Very cool. And so these record books, usually when you reference a document, it has a book and a page, right? Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about how that works for the old way and for the new way.
So the old way, of course, it was handwritten. Most of the books go up between 300 to 600 pages, mm-hmm. Whereas now, now that we have ability to use microfilm, that started, I think, 2001. And yeah, now we can go up to 300 pages a book. Did I say 300? 3,000.
3,000 pages a book. That's cool. But you would have to sit and look at them on microfilm, right?
Yes, we do have a machine too within that vault, so we can double check and then it gets sent out to state archives.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And so you have worked with the new system for the online deeds. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so there is a lot that goes into this. This is known as Landmark, and there's a bunch of different ways to research for documents. If you were to click on, say, the person with name underneath, you even have a drop down on the left-hand side, and it gives you all different ways to search.
Document type, book page, recording date, and you can change, like if you know it wasn't in 1823, you can change that.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of people, what they don't know is when you do look up by the name, it goes last name, then first name without a comma. If you look on the far right side, you will see, I think it's in red.
Oh, name search.
Yes, that will help you even
Oh, that's
inputting all
great.
the information that you want to look for.
Oh, that's really nice. And apparently you can build a list of documents too, which is very interesting.
Yep.
So currently as it is, just looking up, well, my mortgage and my deed. So currently what we see is this, right?
Right.
And so you're saying as of January, we will be able to see a preview of the document here.
Yes.
And that will be free, but we will still have to pay if we want to print it.
Right. If you're looking for copies, that's the only, it's a more of a as you go, pay as you go process rather than paying up front month in advance. So it'll be good.
Yeah, especially for regular users that aren't going to use it a lot, right?
Right. Sometimes people just want to use it 1 or 2 times ever, and there's no guarantee they'll want to do another monthly subscription. So
it would be fun if we could go through here and look at some of the old records and see them all in like cursive with like a fountain pen, but not yet as of January.
right.
While we're here, we'll explore the recording activity notification you have available. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yes. So I know that there's been talk about, fraudulent quitclaims that may come up. I know back in the beginning of the year, there was a big thing on WMUR. So we had a lot of requests for people to want to sign up for something like this. All you would need is first name, last name, and your email address. And anything new would be sent, anything that was tracked under that name would be sent to that email.
Okay, well, that's cool.
So it helps prevent future mishap.
Yeah, it at least lets you know if someone else tries to record a deed under your name and it's not you.
Right.
Excellent. So as far as your office, you work in Concord, right?
Right.
You work in, let me see if I can pull it up. You work in this building, and this is the deeds entrance in the back.
Yes.
163 North Main Street. So people can come still to the office to file and to view documents as well. Is that correct?
Right. We don't have much people that come in because mostly our usage is online based. We probably have like 70 to 80% users online. So we only have the occasional, land surveyors that want to record plans or title companies that will come in every so often to record things. But yeah, most of it's online based.
So they can submit the documents to you online and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah. And even you guys have right on your front page here access to what the formatting requirements are for the deeds.
Yep, a lot of useful information. I'm still trying to work some kinks with our website just to make it more transparent, because I feel like there's a lot more information that could be presented maybe in a different way. So,
well, plus there's a lot of links to different stuff that you can get help with, but if you put it all on the front page, you know, like you have to pick and choose, right?
Right.
All right. So, because my podcast is about real estate, I'm pretty excited about last year we have a new deed type called a transfer on death deed. Can you just kind of give the people a little bit of a summary of what exactly that is?
So it's a fairly, I mean, it only came into effect last year, but this document, in a way, it's like a trust, but it's a much simpler version of a trust. It solely pertains to real estate, and it's one document. Whereas a trust, it's a little more complicated. There's a lot more paperwork involved. And like a trust, this transfer on death deed is like a way to bypass probate.
Mm-hmm.
The only possible pitfall that I could think of with the transfer on death deed is that the flexibility of it, really. Because yes, it's a way to bypass probate, but it only has so much information in that one document. Most of the time, the ones that we get recorded are 1 to 3 pages.
Yeah.
And sometimes one page can solely be just signature based.
Yeah.
So that goes to show you that it doesn't have that much detail, but it's still helpful.
And it sounds like it is revocable as well, whereas not all trusts are revocable.
Right.
And it would be very helpful, you know, if someone passes away, it gives you immediate access to the real estate, especially if, for example, you're an investor and you rent out properties. If you die, you want someone to immediately be able to take over ownership so that they can manage that as well. That's probably a great idea.
Right.
Okay, so I guess you've made some improvements since you got to your office. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so like I said, I've done some adjusting to our website just to make it a little bit cleaner. I know that there was some things that needed some updating, so I did a little housekeeping.
Little housekeeping.
Then we have what is called a scratch folder, which is kind of like a shared drive between my whole department. So I organized a bit of that, just some outdated documents and policies I got rid of. But with that, I also made a Facebook page just to give a little more transparency. I try to update that when I can.
That's awesome.
And then there's my software company. I reestablished the relationship that we've had them since 2013.
Yeah.
So it's been quite some time. And
yeah, having good communications with the software company is pretty important when you have records that are totally online, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm currently I'm in the process of taking our 2-year lease that we've had since 2013 and trying to expand that to a 5-year lease agreement.
Nice.
So just working out some finishing touches with contract and stuff. And then what else? Then there's come January, that big change.
That'll be really cool. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'll be one of the people on there testing it to make sure that it works.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people will around that time.
It'll be great.
Then
and you have
also
some community connections as well that you're involved with now too. Tell us about that.
Right. So I recently partnered with the Lions Club so that we could collect eyeglass donations. So there's a sign up on our lobby. We've been in a newsletter just to get the word out. But then there's also this program I want to create called Adopt a Book. And I took the idea from Bucks County in Pennsylvania, and it helps in restoring the books. Because right now, a book can be upwards to $8,000. It could. I'm sure if you buy in bulk, like multiple books, the cost can, decrease a little bit. But yeah, it
So
helps with
restoring the old
really,
books is a little bit more of a financial easier, is what you're saying?
right. But I also want it to be community based too. So if we have members of the community help with donating, they could have their name in the binding of that book, which
Oh,
I think would
kind of
be
like the
really nice.
bricks
They could even get
downtown.
a little certificate with that.
That's kind of cool. That's really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never actually physically seen one of the books that that you guys have, but I imagine so many times of opening them and whatnot. Are there like little pockets? Like, is it like a 3-ring binder type of thing, or?
Not exactly. I mean, the newer refurbished ones, they have like a plastic, I don't know if they're either in a plastic seal or they're laminated.
Okay. That's cool.
But that definitely helps. It definitely makes it a lot heavier though.
Uh,
They're very heavy.
I'll have to come by sometime and check it out.
It's quite fascinating.
That seems really cool.
Yeah, we had a class, Hillsborough Catholic. They came by, I think, February of this year, and the whole class, I think it was 4th and 6th grade, maybe 4th and 8th, but they came in and they were so amazed and they just wanted to look at everything. I even had like a plan for them to look at, and yeah.
How
Pretty cool
big
stuff.
is you have it in, like you said, like a vault, right?
Right.
Is it a pretty big vault? Like, how big is that?
It's pretty big. I think there's like 4 rows, and then on the back end there's a row against the window. And then we also have a somewhat vault down in the basement for our plan storing. And I want to say it's maybe a little smaller, but yeah, a
That's
lot of
really cool.
stuff.
Because the plans, for those of you who don't know what a plan is, they tend to be a lot larger, right?
Oh yeah, they're pretty big.
Because it's usually like a drawn of like a plot of some sort. That's interesting. How do you
Yeah, and
store
then the
those? All
earlier
folded up,
plans.
or like in a big book with the big pages like this?
No, so they're actually all separate. And I even know the earlier ones around the 1823 era, they were like on cardboard things. I don't even, it's not like the Mylar paper that we have for the newer ones.
Like
But
construction paper, sort of?
yeah, in a way. And
Interesting.
I'll have to think of how we would go about restoring, because if those ever got damaged, I mean, yeah, they're rather small too. They're not as big as our newer ones.
That's really cool. Do you guys have tours every so often or whatnot?
We don't. I would like to host some tours. I got in contact with the State House and let them know that if they ever want to have a classroom come over to my office for a little tour. I mean, it's rather small, my office, and the vault can only hold up to maybe 20-ish people. So if you have a classroom that's more than that, then I mean, it would be a really tight squeeze.
A few rounds, a few people at a time.
Right. I
It
haven't
sounds
gotten
really
any
neat.
callbacks, but I would like for some tours to happen.
As a realtor and someone who's very curious, I would love a tour. I would love to see those old documents.
Yeah, come by anytime.
And they're handwritten too, right? The older ones.
Yeah.
Does it not amaze you at how perfectly aligned the handwritten ones are? Like,
That was the profession back then.
I can't
Yeah.
write a birthday card in line, let alone like a 3-page document.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure, but they did a good job.
That's pretty cool. That would be exciting to see the actual books and like what it's really like. Because we don't actually get to see that side of it and whatnot. Something you had shared with me was a file. Let me pull it up. Of the counts of all the different types of documents that you received in the month of July, right?
Yes. July 1st to the 31st.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always type in sheets in my bar, and then it's like, it starts to look up like bed sheets. Hold on. Google Sheets. Here we go. And it's very interesting to take a look because the transfer on death is pretty new, but you are getting them. We'll take a look here. All right, let's see if I can share the screen. Oh, I guess I did have one open. Okay, so this is just kind of a list of the different documents that you guys get. And there's a lot more than just deeds here. Although it does appear that deeds, other than discharge, are a majority of the documents.
Right.
Transfer on death deed, you had 5. Warranty deed, you had 426. And
Yeah.
mortgages, you had 431.
A part of that discharge number too, you would want to add in release because sometimes they go by the same name. I know that's only 2, but just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, it's very interesting though to actually see, like I had no idea how many things that you guys receive and record and keep. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
If something isn't like up to spec or doesn't meet the parameters of what is required for recording, what do you guys do then?
It's a simple, easy process. We would just send it back and let them know what needs to be changed, or if it's a wrong county, we'll direct them to the right county where it's supposed to be filed. But yeah, most often than not, they'll do a quick fix and send it back, and we'll record that.
You guys record power of attorney as well? That's interesting.
Right. Again, not that many, but
very cool.
It's significantly more than the transfer on death. I think it was 5 in what I sent. This month, I think it's only 7, but goes to show it's not talked about a lot and not a lot of people know.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring it to people's attention. It's something that can be done fairly affordable, possibly with even without a lawyer. If you own property that you want a person to have upon your death, other than your spouse or whatever, the transfer on death deed is the simplest way to do it without having to go through probate. The only way to do it, rather,
Right.
without having to go through probate court, which is a big deal. It's faster and costs a lot less. And other states have had this option. This is just the first time that we've had it as of last year. So this will be interesting. I'm curious to see how many people opt to use that option.
Maybe after today, people will be more informed and want to ask those questions and how to file for it. So
yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah, so if you just want to, I am going to share your contact information in the show notes, but if you just want to let us know, for those who are listening, how to reach you, that'd be great.
All right.
Oh, you can let them know. Tell them what your info is, how to reach you, when to visit you.
Sorry. So my email, it's deeds@merrimackcounty.net. We have a P.O. box of 248 in Concord, New Hampshire. And I can give you my personal email. It's smorse@merrimackcounty.net. That's SMORSE@merrimackcounty.net. And then you can always give us a call at 603-228-0101.
And one more question before we go. When did you start becoming the Registrar of Deeds?
So I was elected in November of last year, and I was sworn in January of this year.
Wow. So you've gotten a lot done in the short amount of time. Your term, how long is that?
It's only 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. How long do registers usually stay, in position for, or do they usually switch a lot?
Lately, they have been in the past 6 years. I think it was 2018. Before then, we had a register that was with the county for, I want to say 30, 40 years. It was quite some time. But since then, it's been a rotation, and it's
Okay.
been kind of, I want to say harmful to the county, only because you need more consistency for the staff and the county as a whole. I mean, a lot of things go on. I guess what you could
You have
try
to
to
pass on the
word it.
torch to someone completely new after 2 years, and who teaches you how to do it? Like,
I kind of had to teach myself.
Yeah,
I know
so
that
that's
we
kind of
have
like,
a lot of people in the county that are helpful, like the county administrator, directing me to speak with who I need to if I have an issue.
yeah.
We also have the deeds administration for the state. So every time we have a meeting, I have like a book full of questions for them because there's a lot to learn. And say I don't get reelected in 2 years, I mean, the next
Yeah,
person's going to need to know all of it all over
start
again.
all over again. And by the time
Yeah.
they start to learn it, their term will be.
Yeah. And I mean, the second year, I feel like there's going to be a lot of time devoted to re-campaigning. So that kind of takes away from the learning, the time learned. So
While you're here, since you're eventually going to campaign, it sounds like you're going to run again, which sounds great. Tell
yes,
us a
I
little
am.
bit about yourself, so we get to know a little bit about Samantha. I know you live in Franklin, which is cool, and how I met you. I don't know. Do you have any hobbies besides deeds?
I'm kind of arts and crafty, but I want to say more so recently I've gotten into gardening.
Nice.
We had a spirit week for my department and human services. We kind of did a combined thing, and we had a day devoted to planting and learning about that. So ever since then, I've just kind of been hooked. I got some herbs at home that I'm growing. So
I think having a garden and growing food that you can have control over yourself, it's healthy, and that you get to be outside and you get to produce your own food as well. So that's kind of nice.
right. And I have 2 kids that, I want to teach them all that I can, and they love being involved in the adventure.
That's really cool. That's
Yeah,
exciting. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your personal side too, so we can kind of get to know you.
absolutely.
Is there any last things you want to share before we go?
I did want to talk about perhaps a common misconception when it comes to discharges.
Yeah, tell me about that.
So more often than not, people will think that it's the same way as paying off a car loan. But property works a little differently. So when you get a car, you get the title mailed to you.
Mhm.
But with a home, once the mortgage is fully paid, the bank files what's called a discharge or sometimes a release.
Okay.
And that discharge is recorded with our office. And it shows that the lender no longer has a claim on that property. The
Oh,
misconception
okay.
is that the homeowners automatically think that they get this discharge mailed to them.
But no.
But no, that's unfortunately not the case. But once it is recorded, it's part of public land records. So
Do you have any advice for people once they pay off their mortgage, about getting the discharge notice?
I would just say call our office just to verify that it was recorded. If you ever wanted your own personal copy, you can certainly get that by contacting us or going on our web and searching for that. But yeah, you can always just verify your information.
So what you're telling me is, like, I have a deed right now to my house, but it does say that there's a lien holder, the bank, right?
Okay.
When I pay off my mortgage, my deed doesn't get updated to say there's no lien holder. Instead, you have what you said, a discharge or a release, correct?
Right.
You don't get a new deed without the lien holder on it. You get a supplemental document called a release or a discharge.
Right.
So that's why they're so important, because otherwise your original document just says you have a bank as a lien holder. So you need to have them together. You don't get a brand new.
Sometimes you could even have what's called an assignment too. So if, say, your loan lender changed from one bank to another,
Yeah.
then that would be recorded as an assignment.
Interesting.
It doesn't change anything. It's just solely the company that you're going with.
And again, your original deed that you got it, when it filed at closing is still going to remain the same. So you have these other documents with it to track what's happening after that time.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing it. That's really good to know. Because otherwise we might just have the original document that says the bank owns it. That's no good. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us a little education and telling us about what it is that you do. It was so nice to have you on the show. And if you have questions for her, again, her email is smorse, MORSE @merrimackcounty.net. And I'll see you later.
Bye.